What if I told you some of the world's most powerful celebrities were tied to secrets so dangerous they could end entire careers overnight? We're not talking about harmless gossip or wild speculation. This time, lawsuits, federal raids, and explosive claims are painting a picture that has fans questioning everything they thought they knew about the music industry. From shocking rumors to courtroom drama, from viral rants to whispers of blackmail, this story connects some of the biggest names in music to the darkest allegations Hollywood has ever seen. And the most chilling part? The more details come out, the harder it gets to tell where the rumors end and the truth begins. Jaguar Wright is back at it again, and once more she has the internet in flames. Known for her unfiltered takes and bombshell confessions, she's built a reputation as someone who doesn't just stir the pot, she flips the entire table, and this time she's not pulling any punches. In her latest viral rants, she isn't just throwing shade or hinting at industry secrets, she's naming names that stop fans in their tracks. Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, Mary J. Blige, Jennifer Lopez, Cassie, even Young Miami. These aren't background players or unknowns. These are women who dominate the charts, who sell out arenas, who carry global legacies. And Jaguar is tying them all to something she calls freakoffs. The internet's reaction? Instant chaos. Comments flooded in within minutes. She's saying what we've all been thinking. Others couldn't believe she dared to say it out loud. And just like that, the story went viral. What could have been brushed off as just another rant became a headline, a trending topic, a storm too big to ignore. But what exactly is a freak-off, and why is Jaguar so determined to expose them? According to Jaguar, the term freak-off doesn't describe a party, not in the way most people think of one. She paints a picture of events that feel less like glamorous celebrations and more like carefully designed traps. Allegedly, these weren't nights filled with champagne and laughter. They were orchestrated scenarios built for power, control, and leverage. Hidden cameras, escorts flown in from every corner of the globe, drugs stacked high, and celebrities walking into situations they could never walk out of the same way. Jaguar claims that once a star attended one of these freak-offs, they weren't just a guest, they became property, because the cameras were always rolling, the footage was always collected, and once you were caught on tape, you belonged to whoever held the evidence. Fans online immediately connected the dots. Some said it sounded like blackmail disguised as entertainment. Others argued it explained why so many powerful celebrities remain silent, loyal, or trapped in circles they can't seem to escape. The whispers became louder. Maybe these weren't rumors at all. Maybe they were part of a system that had been in place for decades. And if Jaguar is right, no one played the game better than Diddy. Jaguar didn't just rant about parties. She made a striking comparison that left people stunned. Out of nowhere, she praised Magic Johnson, not for his basketball legacy, not for his billions, but for something deeper, his honesty. She called him a real man for facing his HIV diagnosis head-on, never hiding, never pretending, and never putting anyone else at risk. Now, on its own, that might have sounded like a genuine compliment, but Jaguar didn't stop there. She flipped the script, because right after praising Magic Johnson's honesty, she asked a chilling question. How many powerful men in this industry are smiling for the cameras, shaking hands on red carpets, while secretly hiding the fact that they're undetectable? How many are pretending to be clean while allegedly putting people in danger behind the scenes? She didn't have to say Diddy's name. The streets heard it loud and clear. Fans flooded comment sections. She's talking about Diddy. We know who she means. In minutes, the internet exploded. What started as a shout out to Magic Johnson became a forest fire of speculation. And that's Jaguar's power. She doesn't just drop names. She creates connections that make fans question everything. Here's where things take a darker turn, because the story doesn't stay in rumor territory for long. Recent lawsuits and investigations have added fuel to the fire, making Jaguar's claims feel less like gossip and more like puzzle pieces clicking into place. Take Cassie, for example. In her lawsuit, she accused Diddy of years of abuse, violent outbursts, and being forced into disturbing situations, including bringing male escorts into their relationship. Her testimony painted a picture of control and manipulation that shook the industry. Then there's April Lamprose, who came forward with her own allegations. She described nights where she claimed she was drugged, pressured, and left with no memory of what had been done to her. Her words echoed the same haunting stories Jaguar had already described. After that, the federal raids on Diddy's homes, raids that uncovered strange and disturbing items, and suddenly this wasn't just about Jaguar's words. Court filings, testimonies, and evidence gave her claims a disturbing level of weight, and that's when fans began saying, maybe this isn't just conspiracy, maybe this is the pattern we weren't supposed to see. The federal raids on Diddy's properties in Miami and Los Angeles shocked the world. Reports claimed investigators found thousands of bottles of baby oil, stacks of drugs, and even AR-15s tucked away like party favors. Who in the world needs that much for a celebration? It didn't stop there. Allegedly, entire hotel suites were prepped in advance for these gatherings. Extra linens, special lighting, drugs ready on standby, and IV fluids prepared for guests who needed recovery after days-long events. According to insiders, this wasn't random chaos. It was organized, carefully planned, and always recorded. One fan wrote online, "This isn't a party, this is a system." And that line stuck because it reframed everything. These weren't wild nights gone too far. They were operations designed to push people past their limits, catch it all on tape, and hold that footage forever. The chilling part, Jaguar wasn't laughing when she described it. She wasn't exaggerating for clicks. She looked serious, like someone who had seen the tapes, heard the screams, and understood exactly how the machine worked. Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, Mary J. Blige, Jennifer Lopez, Cassie, Young Miami. Hearing those names back to back froze fans in their tracks. These weren't small-time artists. These were icons with empires, legacies, and millions of fans. To hear them connected to allegations of freakoffs left the internet stunned. Jaguar hinted that the scars from these nights weren't just emotional. They could be physical. She suggested that some may have left those freakoffs carrying more than just trauma. The speculation was enough to send shockwaves through fan bases worldwide. And even though there was no hard proof, that didn't stop the rumors from spreading like wildfire. Because sometimes, all it takes is one viral clip and a list of names to change how people see their favorite stars forever. The fallout wasn't limited to Jaguar's comments. It spilled into the music scene itself, especially with the City Girls. Fans noticed tension between JT and Young Miami, with JT throwing subtle shade on social media, hinting that Carisha wasn't being truthful about what really went down with Diddy. Suddenly, their bond as best friends and rap partners was being questioned. For fans, it was heartbreaking. For blogs, it was headline gold. And for Jaguar, it was more proof that the industry's messiest whispers might not be rumors at all. Meanwhile, the silence from other celebrities became deafening. The bigger the allegations grew, the less anyone in the industry wanted to comment. And for fans, that silence felt like confirmation. If it wasn't true, wouldn't someone have spoken up by now? At the center of it all is Jaguar Wright. To some, she's a truth teller, fearlessly exposing secrets Hollywood tried to bury. To others, she's a chaos agent, stirring drama for attention and clicks. But either way, she has the world talking. And here's the truth. When rumors, lawsuits, raids, and viral rants all collide, it becomes harder and harder to separate fact from fiction. If even a fraction of what Jaguar is saying is true, then the damage isn't just personal, it's generational. Careers, reputations, and legacies could all be tied to one man's alleged empire of control. The internet didn't just react with curiosity, it split into factions. Rihanna's Navy rushed to her defense, swearing up and down that their queen could never be caught up in something like this. Nicki Minaj's Barbs went on the offensive, attacking anyone who dared repeat Jaguar's claims without proof. Meanwhile, Cassie's supporters pointed to her lawsuit as the clearest evidence yet, arguing that Jaguar was simply saying out loud what had already been happening behind closed doors. Even Mary J. Blige fans were torn. Some felt protective of her legacy, while others admitted the industry has been known to drag even the strongest artists into compromising situations. And when it came to Jennifer Lopez, the conversation turned international. Latin media outlets picked up the story, sparking debates in Spanish-speaking fan communities about whether these allegations could tarnish J.Lo's spotless public image. Jaguar becomes Spartan Amand. The fandom wars got so heated that comment sections started looking like battlegrounds. On one post, you'd see Jaguar is exposing the truth. On the next, she's just jealous of successful women. And that division is exactly why this story refuses to die. It touches too many fan bases at once, making the speculation unavoidable. Didn't take long for blogs and gossip outlets to pick up Jaguar's words. Sites like The Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked, and Lipstick Alley had field days with it, running headlines that left just enough ambiguity to spark debate while raking in clicks. Some outlets played it safe, using phrases like Jaguar Wright suggests or fans speculate, carefully distancing themselves from any claims. Others leaned all the way in, running sensational headlines that framed Jaguar as blowing the lid off Hollywood's dirtiest secrets. Mainstream outlets, however, stayed strangely quiet. Major publications that usually pounce on celebrity drama seemed to treat Jaguar's words like hot lava, too risky to touch, too explosive to confirm. For fans, that silence felt suspicious. Why was the mainstream avoiding a story that clearly had the internet on fire? Was it because of legal risks or because the industry was scrambling behind the scenes to contain the fallout? One fan wrote on Twitter, "If the blogs are screaming about it but Billboard and Rolling Stone are acting blind, that tells you everything." And that thought began spreading like wildfire. While most celebrities kept their lips sealed, some reactions slipped through the cracks. Young Miami went live on Instagram shortly after Jaguar's rant, brushing off questions with laughter, but the nervous energy in her tone didn't go unnoticed. JT, on the other hand, dropped cryptic tweets that fans interpreted as shade toward her own rap partner, fueling speculation that even insiders were tired of pretending. Other stars stayed completely silent, which for fans spoke volumes. Why weren't more women publicly defending themselves if the allegations were so outlandish? Was the silence a legal strategy? Or did it hint at something darker, that Jaguar's claims weren't entirely off base? Every time a celebrity chose not to comment, it only made the whispers louder. And for Jaguar, that silence worked in her favor because it made her look like the only one willing to speak out. This isn't the first time the entertainment industry has faced whispers of secret parties, blackmail, and hidden tapes. From the early days of rock and roll to the golden age of Hollywood, rumors have always followed the powerful. In the 1970s, stories swirled about executives throwing casting couch parties where careers were traded for silence. In the 90s, hip-hop itself faced scandals about moguls who blurred the line between business and exploitation. Jaguar's allegations feel like the modern version of a very old story, one where fame and power always seem to come with hidden costs. The difference now is the internet. Back then, whispers stayed in smoky backrooms. Today, one viral clip can send those whispers echoing across millions of screens overnight, and that's exactly what happened here. Here's the question that keeps fans glued. What happens if actual footage from these so-called freakoffs ever leaks? According to Jaguar, tapes already exist, and some have been sold in private markets for astronomical sums. If even a single clip made its way to the public, the fallout would be catastrophic. Careers could end overnight, lawsuits could multiply, and the industry's most carefully guarded secrets would unravel in real time. Even without tapes, more lawsuits could tip the balance. If other women step forward with stories that echo Cassie and April Lampros, the pressure on Diddy and anyone tied to him could become impossible to escape. Right now, the allegations live in a gray area between gossip and legal filings, but if more receipts land on the table, that gray area could suddenly turn black and white. That's a bigger question is what this means for the music industry as a whole. If freakoffs are real, and if some of the world's biggest female stars were caught in them, then the problem isn't just Diddy, it's systemic. It suggests that power in the industry has been built on manipulation, secrets, and blackmail. For young artists trying to break in, that's a terrifying message. Success might come with strings you never see until it's too late. For fans, it forces a hard look at the celebrities they idolize. Are these stars victims, survivors, or silent participants? And for Hollywood, it could trigger a reckoning on the same scale as the Me Too movement, one where no amount of money or fame can bury the truth forever. So here's where we stand. Jaguar Wright has thrown out some of the boldest accusations the industry has ever seen. Lawsuits, raids, and silence from insiders have only made her words harder to ignore. And the names she dropped: Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, Mary J, Blige, Jennifer Lopez, Cassie, Young Miami are too big to brush off as coincidence. Some say Jaguar is brave, exposing a hidden system of control. Others say she's reckless, dragging legends into rumors with no proof. But the reality is this: her words have already changed the conversation. Fans are demanding answers, blogs are thriving off the chaos, and the industry is doing everything it can to keep the lid on. And that leaves us with the biggest question of all. If even a fraction of this is true, then how much of the music industry we thought we knew was built on smoke and mirrors? How many careers were shaped not by talent alone, but by secrets, silence, and survival? One thing is clear: the story isn't over. The next bombshell could drop at any moment, and when it does, it might not just shake the industry, it could break it wide open. Is Jaguar Wright exposing the truth, or is this just another internet storm? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because trust me, this conversation is only getting started.